Mahalo for staying with us. Lena girl, you and Davey got a chance to talk with some construction experts recently, right?
Yes, we did. We got to tap the expertise of Lucas and Jozef of H1 Construction. In fact, we did a deep dive into Redlines and revisions.
Okay.
The question is, what happens when your building or rental plans get kicked back, right? So we got to ask the contractor. Take a look. And joining us now from H1 Construction are Lucas Stenslin, general contractor and owner, and Jozef Picula. He is our construction manager. Guys, we appreciate your time here with these Ask the Contractor segments. So many questions are coming back from our viewers. We want to start off with Dean from Wahiawa. He's asking, what does it mean when my drawings or plans submitted to DPP for my permit were kicked back? And how does that affect the time in getting my plans approved?
When they go into DPP, it goes through a certain process, right? So, and that process can be delayed, but when they're kicked back, whether it's kicked back for inconsistencies or more information that they need, it's the same process, right? So let's say it gets to station 4, they kick it back. That means the architect now, or the draftsman, or who's ever in charge of those drawings. Some people actually hire a third-party review company, which is sometimes a good idea, especially if you're hiring a draftsman of sorts, right? But then that party is now responsible for making those changes, whoever submitted the drawings themselves.
I get you. What's the difference between an architect and a draftsman?
An architect goes through a lot of schooling and knows the codes inside and out, right? So
it's part of their licensing.
It's part of their licensing.
Right.
They carry a lot of insurances. They do special inspections, more informed as far as materials go.
As opposed to a draftsperson who probably just has the ability to put the plan down on paper. Is that it?
And they still have to get it stamped by an architect.
They still have to get it stamped. The difference is a draftsman will normally pay an architect to stamp it. And it depends on their level of communication and business friendship, whether he just stamps it and walks away or thumbs through all the plans and checks out everything. There's nothing wrong with this direction either. It's just saying whoever stamped it is taking responsibility for those drawings.
So when that plan gets kicked back, does it get kicked back to the draftsman or does it get kicked back to the person whose stamp is on that paperwork?
Both. And it's up to them to determine who's responsible for it. But
for the
in that circumstance, 90% of the time, it's going to be the original person who drew the drawings.
I'm assuming that might add some time to the whole process.
Yeah. A lot. Yeah, and that's part of the DPP process, like we talked about a few series ago, right? Bad drawings, inconsistent drawings, clogging up the system.
So once it does get kicked back, is the whole process paused? Do they have to restart again? How does that work?
Restart. Yep, you start all over again from the beginning, right?
Ouch.
Yeah, and the reason they do that is if it's made it through 2 or 3 stations at the DPP, and the draftsman or architect gets it back, they need to ensure that no changes were made through those 3 steps. So it doesn't go right back to step 4, it starts off at 1
again. Okay, so here's a question for you folks. How do you communicate? So you found out that the drawings got kicked back. How do you communicate that to your clients in plain English? because again, I'm learning so much from Ask the Contractor, but you folks use a lot of terminology and jargon that most people don't normally speak.
Yeah.
So how do you folks sit down with that client and say, hey, you know what, this got kicked back because of da-da-da?
Well, a lot of the times they're kicked back for very simple reasons. If you're trying to meet egress, which means a firefighter can get in and a firefighter can get out from a stable landing inside the house and outside the house. Let's just say that's 3 inches too small. They're going to kick that back. In our case, they would kick it back to us. We would make that change and resubmit without
having to bother the client.
We don't need, Our job as a general contractor is essentially to buffer the client from it being a stressful process. They're already spending as much money as they probably saved or gotten from a bank in the biggest project that they've ever gone through, because we typically don't do like high turnover. We don't want to work for somebody who's trying to get an ROI, like a return on investment, and sell it in 2 years. We want to work with families and into the fabric of Hawaii, a house that's going to be here and passed down to generation to generation, so my kids and Josef's kids and our kids can drive by and go, hey, I heard about that on TV, or my dad built that. That's what we're here for.
Wow, that alleviates a lot of stress.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for handling that, because I mean, I'm almost having a meltdown.
Yeah.
And not even building nothing right now. So
But
thank you guys.
building for longevity.
Yes.
Longevity,
Building for
absolutely.
longevity. I love that. H1 Construction, they are the award-winning Hawaii home builder specializing in custom homes, luxury homes, and more. Thank you so much, Lucas and Joseph,
Thank you.
Thank you.
letting us ask the contractor.
Isn't that so good?
That
How
is very
lucky we
cool.
are to have these experts in-house with
I
us.
know, and you guys can ask all kind of crazy questions, and they'll be like, yeah, no problem. We've seen this before.
And it
Like,
happens.
wow.
It happens every week.
Yep.
So a very big mahalo to Lucas and Joseph again from H1 Construction. You know, if you've got questions, please send them in now so we can get you those answers in next week's segment of Ask the Contractor.